Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and check the page, make sure that you all can hear and see me. So just give me a moment to pull up that page. So how is everyone doing? If you can hear and see me, let me know how you're doing while I go ahead and check the comments. Oh, that's great. Ladies, I'm checking the comments to make sure that everyone can see and hear us on the live page, so I will be back in just one moment.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
going to
maybe
go
the
ahead
light
and
shouldn't
read
be on
all
me.
of you out.
Maybe I should.
Okay, there we go. And I will unmute you when it's time.
I probably should move myself where there is a better lighting, hey? Okay, maybe I should move outside. Okay. How are you, ladies?
Hello.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Amelie, can we change? Yeah, can I be here and you're there in the other room?
And we are live, it seems to be.
Oh, are we?
Looks like it.
Oh.
Hello out there, everyone. Google has changed a lot of stuff, so she probably took a minute to get the link.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Thanks so much, Rhonda. I can always count on you. So, ladies, while I check the comments, I'm going to mute you purposely until I come back, and then I will unmute you all, okay?
All right.
Sweet. Computer genius. Okay, that's awesome. All right. I finally got it pulled up to where I could see the comments on the one computer, but they're both set up in different positions. So tonight you'll see me jump from this side to the other side, but once we get that one hooked up, we'll be ready to go. So thank you all so much for joining me. It's really awesome to be able to see your comments because, you know, I'm doing something that kind of brings me back to when I first started in the industry. And you're talking about, you know, a completely different D. I don't know if some of you can relate. So before I introduce my guest, that's why I didn't want them talking so much because I'm like, wait, guys, wait. You know, I haven't really introduced you. And so I really don't want them to spill the beans too early, which can happen, you know, when you have girlfriends sitting around just talking. So I really wanted to be concise and share with you my experience. And I just remember when I first started feeling, how can I say, I was feeling very confused. I was quite overwhelmed, to be honest. And a part of me, like, I remember just feeling disappointed. And it wasn't in the business. It wasn't about how much money I made, but it was truly all within myself. You know, I kept putting myself down because up until, you know, I started working and building my business, you know, I was good at everything, you know, that I put my mind to. And then all of a sudden I come across this new thing and selling just I don't know, selling just never really appealed to me. The act of selling, the notion of selling, although it is what we do to a certain extent, I really, what the internet allowed me to do is to fall in love with the art, the process, the true way of how selling is done. Because, it doesn't matter what industry you're looking in, they all have a sales team, an advertising team. So when I began looking at my business as, a Fortune 500 company does, or I started looking at my business and, and being very clear, it's something that you can search online and type in like, startup business, what does a startup company need for investors? And once you start looking at your business in this way, it really does shift your mind. It changes from this online home thing that I'm trying to a new idea. So I just want to congratulate everyone who's on, welcoming you, not only for joining us, on tonight's webcast and this, this journey, but really for taking that plunge into, business for yourself. And if you're already in business, taking that plunge into advertising and scaling up. Because I'm one of those people. I had a few, I had a few bad experiences with advertising, and I'm just going to be real, right? Like if you guys allow me to do that, let me go ahead and pull up some of the comments in order to just, I really want to make sure that you all are, you're prepared for what I'm going to share. Because if I can't be myself and I can't keep it honest with you guys, if you aren't prepared to know what it truly took for me to go from, literally, we were making about $5,000 a month, which, in some retrospects is a blessing, and it is a blessing. But on the other side, it really, it just brought us close enough to the edge to where we began thinking to ourselves, like, what's on the other side? If I can do all of this with where I'm at, what could I do, if I was at this point? And it began stretching our mind. And so from that point in our income, I remember just, focusing so much more on our family, on our business, on our personal team. And it was almost like this, I don't know, I want to call it this hungry stage. You know what I mean? Like you just get out of the gym, you're soaking wet with sweat, you're in the car exhausted, even pushing down on the brake hurts you because, today was legs day. And as you're rushing home, to grab a healthy shake and jump into the shower, you begin thinking to yourself like, wow, I'm in so much pain. You go to sleep the night, you wake up the next morning, and what happens? You feel great. And so I realized our business was sort of like that, but many people were beginning to look at it in the wrong ways. So I began looking at my business in terms of, an IPO and what it would take to have investors invest into my business, my ideas, my passions, and I just started focusing more. So as time went on, I realized that, okay, I have all these things in place, but now I need to scale up. So before I share with you what I mean by scaling up, I just want to, get a kind of understanding from how many people, because it says there are 97 people on the page now. And so I want to get an understanding from you all, watching. Would you say, and if it's no, just go ahead and write no, but if it is applicable for you, go ahead and give me a big yes in the comments. See you on top says, hi Dee, see you and Justin in Orlando. Well, hey, and if you can share with us what has been your biggest roadblock in your small business when it comes to making sales and connecting with other people. And as you think of what that is in your business, I want to bring out some of these ladies to have them share with you what has been their experience. Because a lot of what you would, attribute to success and what you would spend your time and focus on is not really what it is. It's truly, how can I say it? It's all those things that you put on the side. Those are really the things that make success and that determine success. So what I want to do is have that little looking glass into the eyes of these women here on the panel, and have them kind of introduce an idea to you. So ladies, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you all. And I know this is something that's not usually done, on webcasts. Usually it's one person speaks at a time, but because you all kind of have, know each other and you've seen each other at events, I thought this would be really cool if we could have a group discussion and do something that, most people just don't do. So hopefully this can be done. If you guys have headphones, it would work the best because then everyone's echo isn't coming out from their speakers. That would that would work it the best. So let's go ahead and see if this is a disaster, but or if this just turns out to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and start unmuting you all. All right. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, this is so cool. Oh, this is so cool. So I wanted to ask you all, what has been your experience, going to events and being able to connect to other people from all different walks of life? Because many people do feel like when you're working at home or you decide to, transition your business from offline to online, that you're doing this alone. So what has been your experience with that? Do you guys feel alone? Go ahead and share your thoughts, and I'll mute you out and just allow you ladies to just roll with it.
Can I share about the first event I went to? Okay. My very first event was in Las Vegas last January, and excuse me, and I went and I had just joined, and I really, had my doubts and questions and everything. And when I got there, I had also only gotten so far in the business because it was, let's stick my foot in and see how it goes. But when I got to the event, it was only Friday night when I went all in because I felt the connection. I felt the family atmosphere. It was like a community and a family that I've always been looking for. So it was very, very moving for me, my first event, and they've just gotten better.
Yeah, can I jump in on that one? Because I'd really like to share, my experience during the first event too. That was in Nashville in April, and I remember going there and really not knowing what to expect. And just a little bit of a background. You see, I actually joined, the online marketing, the system that we are using now, to actually learn about social media, the different platforms, how I can use that to my existing business, which is financial services. So really, that's just my main purpose. So I went to the event in Nashville, and that was like a last moment decision when I've actually spoken to my other colleagues from the business, and they said, you have to go to the events, because I have a lot of questions. So they said, you have to go to the events. So I went to Nashville, and I actually arrived there, I believe, the day before the event, and that's when the Women of Bliss was actually happening. And we were in this big hotel. It's almost like a dome. It's I have never seen something like that before, but it's just so cool. And so you just literally bump into each other, and you see those ID, and I said, oh, they're from this and from that. And I said, so everybody in this dome is going to that event? So I never really realized how huge, this thing that I joined into, at that time, because I have no idea. And so we had the event, and that was for 3 days. And that was, for me, something happened, inside me. At the time, I couldn't really explain, but it's just so overwhelming. But this is the one thing that I feel. When I get there and I started to meet these people, you guys, some of you probably haven't met then. There is almost this, this connection that is just so magical. It's like I've known them, from somewhere. I never felt like I am a stranger, and vice versa. And you see, that power of connection, that shifted a lot inside me. And that's what I carried with me even after the event. It's so powerful. And the event didn't finish. I already decided I am going to the next event. In fact, right, I think when they announced that we are going to Bali, I signed up right away. I think, I remember I was the first one who signed up because they said there are only 50 spots. And I said, I have to be there, because that is exactly what, it's like feeling a void inside me.
It's
And that is
beautiful.
so
Thank
powerful.
you so much, Sherry, because you brought up
Yeah,
something that is truly, truly paramount. Because remember, before we began speaking, I said, and I'll bring you ladies out. Thank you so much, Ellen, for sharing, and I'll bring Sheila and Rhonda out in just a moment. But when I before you guys began speaking, I said something very important. And there will be two types of people watching this broadcast right now, and there will be one person or one type of person who will get it. When they heard it, they got it. And then there's the other person who's like, listen, I need the damn goods, Dee. Stop bullshit around. I just need my shift to happen now so I can get rid of my stuff, And I'm just like, wow, okay, And for that person, I feel you. You are in that energy and you are in that state where you just need it now. But remember this important phrase, okay? Remember it now in your journey. Remember it, after you're successful. Remember it while you are successful. Remember it for all your days of abundance, because there is so much abundance. That's why there's really never a need to become in a state of anger or anticipation for it. I guess you can anticipate it because you can be excited for it, but it's about creating the right type of energy to attract it. So remember this phrase and listen very carefully, okay? Because it is not the and I know this is going to just tick off some people because they're just like, no, Dee, I need to know the 1, 2, 3 formula. And I'm telling you right now, it's not the method of advertising that you choose to market your business or your products or your services, but it's the mindset and the energy behind why you're doing what you do. And it's the reason why I spend so much time focusing on mindset and helping people understand, how to get outside of their heads. Because the human body is a remarkable organism. It is amazing, from your little hair follicles down to your toes. And something that, fascinates me about the human body is the brain, the mind. And it's we keep learning so much more about ourselves. They find a new animal in the ocean every time I Google online. They find new specimens of plants, and new life is just all around us. There's so much abundance. And these are all the things that we just find around us. But our own mind, and think about how much research, time, and money, and effort, and energy has been placed into getting to know the human body. And our mind and our brain is that one facet of it where even they must admit they haven't even scratched the surface of what it can do. So let us explore that, right? Because if we want to build a small business, let's say, or we want to attract more products and services, I'm going to share with you now how I was able to scale up, because there are some of you watching this and you want the answers right now. So I'm going to just give it to you, right? I said that in the email when I sent this out, that I will just tell you exactly what's working. But even if you have all the right formulas, you have all the right tools, if your mind isn't in the right place, the message that you send will literally repel people away. So understand that before you step into this, because you don't have to have everything in place. But the one thing that you've got to be clear on is why you're doing what you're doing. Everything else will literally come into place. You know, I've been meeting the connections and connecting to the right people. I had no idea how to even create an event in the first place. I had been to many events, but I was like, there's no way I can figure out lighting and sound and seating and registration and oh my goodness. And that's just the day of the event. Like all the things in preparation to it, I thought like, no way, there's no way I can do this. And so I just left it alone. And I remember that was a block, you know, and for me in my own personal walk for several years. So how was I able to overcome that mindset? Just being honest. I surrounded myself around people who didn't accept, you know, oh, I can't. They're like, what do you mean you can't? Oh, I can't. Well, why not? And basically, if you weren't, you know, about to, you know, meet your deathbed at that exact moment, or you know, somebody very close to you was, you know, something really big was happening, they just could not see how on earth it just, you know, it wasn't possible. And something happens to your mind when you're around people who truly believe that anything is possible, and they believe in you when you say it. So this really excited me, and this really helped my shift. So how did I scale up? Here's exactly what I did. Let me see if I can show you my screen. Just one moment, because I want to be able to show you some numbers, kind of give you an idea of, you know, what is working for me currently. I have some campaigns that I'm spending about 1 cent for an engagement, 6 cents for an engagement. And so when you're talking about traffic, especially traffic on social media, and the reason why I say traffic on social media specifically as opposed to solo ads or you know, magazine ads or newspaper ads, if they even do those anymore, or even radio ads. The reason why I'm specifically speaking about social media is because, you know, they have the statistics to prove that people are on social media not just, you know, once a week or, you know, whenever the idea suits them. They're literally on social media daily. I mean, I remember reading the post from Facebook where it said point blank, they're so excited because they finally reached over 1 billion users logging in one day. And I thought to myself, wow, Facebook really has got this game on lock. So I was just really excited. So here, let me share some stats with you. Screen share. Okay, give me one moment. I clicked the button. Okay, dope. It's asking me what would I like to share with you. I would like to share that. All right. Okay, let me know if you can see that. Okay, let me know if you can see that. It's basically, can you guys see it? Okay, sweet. So here we are. Here's the first one, 2 cents per result. And I get excited about campaigns like this because, thanks so much, Ellen. Thanks so much, Terry. So I get excited about campaigns like this because it kind of breaks that stigma that, oh, you know, it's so expensive to advertise. There's no possible way that I could do that. And I think to myself, like, no, you can only do what you put your mind to. So here is a lead campaign where my relevancy score is 10. So I am in the eyes of the people who want to see my content, which is huge, right? And yeah, here, you know, I've spent a little bit more, $369.84, but I'm just going to keep it real. I'm one of those people that if something's working, I turn it up. Like, that's just how my mind operates. I'm like, oh, that's a great result. Okay, let's just 10x that. Like, that's how my mind works. That's how I do everything in my business and my life. I either do it 10x and all the way, or I just don't at all. So that's just how it is for me. So I got excited about this campaign because when you're talking about leads, you know, you can speak to anyone in real estate, or people who have small businesses who want to get more yoga students or maybe more gym memberships. These companies are willing to spend, $10, $20 a lead. And here I am getting them on social media for just $1.18. So that's something that you can do on practically any budget to build your business. So it just shows you about, how many people they showed that ad to, or how many different ways that they, sent out the reach, or what my possible reach is for that ad. And then here are my results, because like I said, I turned it up, I realized it was working, so I was like, okay, let's keep going. 313. So here's another one. The leads again, $1.18. So this idea, and then here we are. Post engagements. Now, this is something very interesting because you have many different types of posts and content that you can place on Facebook. And I'm talking about your profile as opposed to your fan page. Now, I understand that if some of these words and some of the context and references that I'm making are going over your head, that's perfectly fine. And why? Because I was there. So what I'd like to share with you is a webinar that I'm doing. It's live from home. You can watch it in your underwear if you want to. You don't have to wear underwear. I won't tell, whatever. It's completely up to you. And you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. And I'm doing it in about a week. And it's on blisswebinar.com. And on that webinar, I'll get very detailed on this, just like I'm going to get at the women's event here coming up in just a few weeks, because the whole purpose of me sharing this with you, and that's why I get so passionate about this, because I'm like, dude, I can share this with my ladies. Like, they will know exactly how to scale up and build their business and build, to their products and services, regardless of where they're at right now. You can start and scale up. As long as you have something that's working, you can move forward with it. So it got me excited because, Facebook began admitting things that I have known for years. We've known for years that long Facebook story ads are the most efficient because we've tried them all. And it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago that Facebook decided to make a post about it. I was like, well, thanks for catching up. That was kind of you. But it was really cool, It just validated as well. People who had been following us for a while were like, oh, wow. Justin and Dee and Jabril, and they've been preaching this for years. Like, yes, it does work. So here we are again, $1.65, and I know my numbers, which means I know how many leads I need in order to generate a sale. And I know what my profit is, my commission, or how much I make from that sale that I take home. So in order to, pay my rent or pay the bills or to fuel my advertising business or to pay my employees, I look at all of those numbers. And here's why that's important. Because when you're building your business and you have an idea, yeah, of course, you can go on the passion and you can go on the idea, but here I am again just sharing with you the reason why I'm willing to spend over $1,000. It's almost, it's $200 less of $2,000 on one campaign, and it's because I know my numbers. So I'm really willing to pay for leads that are up to like $5 and still, make a very reasonable profit and be able to take home. But my whole mission is freedom for humanity. And in order for me to do that without having to depend on governments that I can't trust and figures who keep lying time and time again, I can depend on the people who make up this humanity. I believe in the people. I believe in our mission. I believe in their visions. I believe in you. And so because of that, it costs me to be very efficient, and especially in my marketing. So as long as I can make a lead for $2, for less than $2, I feel like, you know what? Turn that sucker up. Let's go ham, turn on the Tupac. I'm about to have some orange juice when the baby goes to bed. Like, I get excited, and so that's what really I just wanted to share with you all, because I know at the event I'm going to be able to break down the campaigns and show you, what's been working and how it's been working in my business. So I want to get down to, how I'm able to scale up, because you have an ad. So let me pull it up on my screen again. You have an ad that's, let's say it's a video, right? And there are some of you, watching this right now who are like, hold up, Dee, I don't do video, honey. You know, we're talking about business here. We're not talking about our own personal, you know, likes and dislikes. We're not talking about, you know, all of the things that we kind of, you know, wish that we could do. We're not talking about a bed of unicorns yet. What we're talking about is business, right? So I kind of look at business the same way that I look at life. And when I make a decision in life, when I make a step in life to move forward or to do something, I can't take it back because I don't even know if I'm going to have that next minute or that next day or even that next moment to second guess myself. I don't even know if I'm going to wake up. So having this understanding, it just is. And so it causes me to take that same understanding into my business. And then I start looking at my business in a whole new light because there is no, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow. Let me put it off. Oh, it's just not as important. No, now it becomes a matter of like, what's the most efficient thing that I can do in my business today to gain results? So I just wanted to share with you where my mind was at because, you know, some of you, you know, watching this are feeling like, well, I don't really understand, you know, how I'm able to leverage, or you're just like, you know, enough with the mindset stuff. Give me the goods. Well, here's the goods, and here it is. How, you know, here's the real talk. So let me show you one campaign that I just started to, well, yesterday. Okay, yesterday at 12:03 p.m. Don't you love Facebook for showing you the actual times on a campaign? So it's like, no, you uploaded this at 12:03. Well, why, thank you, Facebook. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. And then I can share with you my screen. And let me know. Oh, there's CJ. Sweet. All right, one moment. Let me share my screen. Select a window. This one? It always asks you, like, which screen do you want to show? I'm like, I guess this one's good. So let me know if you can see my Facebook screen in the comments, and then I will check the other computer to make sure that you can. I hope you can. All right. All right, so I am just going to, hello, CJ. Okay, so everyone says that they're loving it. I hope that you can see my screen. Let me see here. Okay, do not mind the fact that I have 30 windows open because I'm just being real. Assista is working. You know, that's something else that is really important about, you know, why you're doing what you do. Because if what you're doing is, you know, superficial, and when I say superficial, I don't mean like fake or not important. When I say superficial, I mean that you know that that's not truly why you're doing what you do, but you say that's why you're doing what you do, and you act like that's what you're doing, why you're doing. But at the end of the day, you know the true reason. So that's what I mean superficial. It's not truly the real underlying cause of what you do. So when you do actually tap into that true purpose of what you do and why you do it, you can tell. You can tell. Your whole mindset shifts. And one of the abilities that I think that is so precious about children and is so uniquely found in every single person across many different industries who is successful is their ability to look at things as if they're brand new. So, for example, when I first got started, I remember, you know, people would give me an idea or share a concept with me, and I'm like, yeah, I already know that. I'm already doing that. Whatever. Thanks,
When I became a mother, my whole life.
Excuse me. It plays automatically on Facebook. So,
Shifted.
oh, I thought I paused it. Okay, there we go. And so when I first started, I remember, people would give me advice or they would share their experience, and I'm just like, yeah, I've heard it all before, whatever. And something shifted within me because I began seeing that everyone had something that I could learn or that they could teach and share. And when I began looking at it that way and understanding that, the same people that, yeah, maybe walking up to people in Walmart is not my idea of building a business, but it doesn't mean that it's not valid. Maybe staying on the phone for 6 or 8 hours during the day, just cold calling people or calling people on the phone isn't my idea of fun, but hey, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. At the end of the day, I'm just sharing what works with me. So I have this video, and that's what I love about Facebook, because it gives you all these stats. I uploaded it yesterday. It's has about 1,000 views and 60 something likes, 11 shares, and I can't really see how many comments that is, but you can begin to see that the comments are positive, so the video is directed to the people who want to see it. Now this video, I just began advertising to it. When I say just began, it's been like less than 6 hours. So I want to show you a video that I've been kind of running some more ads to it. So remember when I said when I find something that works, I just I go ham and I just push it forward. So it's the same thing when I find someone who actually can show and here we go. And when I find someone who who actually knows what they're talking about and who can show it in their results, I know to keep my mouth shut and to follow them. So I was one of those people. When I went to my first event, I was willing to sleep in the car, but we didn't sleep in the car. We actually roomed with a really nice gentleman, and we stayed in the hotel, and we had roommates. But the point is, I was willing to do anything. I was willing to go anywhere in order to be in the room with people who were willing to open up their computers and say, hey, I'm not just going to teach you how to do this. I'm actually going to show you how to do it step by step. Are you ready? Because I'm willing to take my time and walk you through it. And that's something that, to me, well, it's priceless. So here's a video that we've been running some traffic to. It's gotten 90,000 views. It has over 1,500 likes and over 438 shares. Now, the reason why I share this with you is because, when we talk about an idea, when we talk about the things that we want, and I was just showing you, to get, these views, it was 2 cents, 1 cent, 6 cents. When you get to 6 cents, I'm like, whoa, buddy. I email my advertising management, and I email him, and I'm just like, dude, listen, 6 cents. I don't know about you, but that is muco bucks. Like, I'm not willing to spend 6 cents. And we just make jokes about it because we've come to understand, and once you learn how to do something the right way, it just becomes a lot of fun. So now you can kind of play around with it and truly keep pushing yourself to do more and more. So here are some of the questions, people just asking, how can I get started? Wow, I'm so excited. Awesome, I can't wait. Well, great. Is this for me? I have a house cleaning business. And what's really awesome is out of these 438 shares, what that shows you is not only did they find it valuable, like, of course they know that it's an ad, right? Because Facebook makes it very clear that it's an ad. They have a little sponsored thing on the top. So hold on, I'm just trying to stop my screen. There we go. So they have a little sponsored thing at the top, and you can see that it's a sponsored ad. Like, they don't make it a secret. And so, yeah, mind you, if you're new to Facebook or you don't really know the difference between your timeline and your newsfeed, it's perfectly fine. We'll go through all of that on the 1st of October, which I'm really excited about. But I wanted to share that with you, to share with you the possibility, because it's something that you can do. So you're getting 2 cent engagements, which means that your content, your piece of information, your business, your brand is now being shown to people for just 2 cents. I mean, I can look around the house and find 2 cents. My goodness, you know what I mean? I can go on a walk and find 2 cents. So this stigma that, advertising on social media is expensive has got to go. I've called up the magazines. I subscribe to Oprah magazine diligently. I subscribe to Entrepreneur magazine. Apparently, I just started getting a parents magazine, so I was just like, ooh, that's nice. I guess when you get on one list, they want to put you on all of them, which I'm not going to hate, learn something from everyone. But I began thinking to myself, if I could scale this up, what's going to happen if I scale this up? Because I've, done ads and placements. Justin and I got a phone call once, and this is quite embarrassing to admit, but, it was over like 8 years ago, and it was pretty crazy. So imagine we're sitting at home building our business. He's on one side of the house, on upstairs, on the on his computer screen. It was like 30 inches. Don't ask. It was insane. And, he's working, things like that. And then I was on the other side on my laptop, and we were both making calls all day long to radios. Boom, 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 boom. Closing joint ventures, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's how we got our ads for free in front of a lot of people. We called up radio stations and we said, hey, our commissions are X amount of dollars. If you will place our ad on your radio, I'll give you half of that. And we were just willing to give them 50%. So the joint venture was born, and then Justin Varengia, my husband, was known as JV. So if you didn't know that story, there goes a little bit of history about us. So I remember just calling, and I remember thinking to myself, is it even possible? Because this gentleman calls me, and then he says that he can get our business in front of people on the internet. It's something very similar to Google. It is revolutionary, and all we need to pay is like $10,000, and we'll be in front of all these people, and we'll get tons of traffic and make tons of sales in our business, and everything will be great. So Justin was like, yeah, swipe. Boom. That sucker did not convert. That was the worst traffic that we ever had in our lives. That was a horrible experience. Then I decided, you know what? I want to try solo ads, and I want to try, getting my ad in front of different lists. So then I began, getting my ad in front of different lists and paying a couple $1,000s for this and paying a couple $1,000s to get this many leads. And, I started emailing the leads. But at that time, I hadn't really developed a skill set for email marketing, so my emails sucked, I'm just being honest, and they weren't converting. And it was really, really high leads, leads that I'm talking about, I don't even know if they're real people. I don't know if they check that email, whereas on Facebook, I know that someone's real because I can see their face, I can see their last post, I can go on their profile and see their friends if they make that public. There's so many things that you can do and see. It's the reason why most companies and agencies, when they go through the hiring process now, what do? They search for you on Facebook, no longer Google, Facebook. So that says a lot about Facebook's influence about in connecting to people who are signing in now, who are signing in today, which to me, that just shows me where my customers are. I don't know what that person is doing with that list when I pay them for it. And even if I get the premium leads, how do I know that they're premium? Because they cost more? What data do I have on this lead? When was the last time that they were active online? What are the last few purchases that they've made online? On Facebook, if you know what you're looking for, you can actually find out the shopping patterns of your leads and your niche. You can find out, how close they are relative within age, so within a 10-year demographic. Once you're able to hone down on, the things that they connect to, you can speak their language. And once you're able to do that, everything else becomes a lot easier. So I want to hear from these ladies. I want to hear from you all who haven't spoken, and I'll unmute you all at once so that way everyone can kind of speak together, because I really want it to be like a sisters round table, or a round circle around the fire where everyone's just kind of talking and sharing, and the minds will pick up what it's meant to pick up. And that's just what I believe. I know it's something that is not typically done on, these live streams, but I have a feeling that everyone watching it is a little bit more powerful than society deems us to be. So I think you guys can handle it. And I want to ask you ladies, what is it, okay, has been your experience coming to the event? How have you been able to, take that experience into your life, into your business? I know that you can't really bring someone there with you as if, they're there with you. It's just impossible to do, but at least kind of give us that little piece inside of your view. I'm going to go ahead and mute my.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, ladies. How are you?
We're still here.
So Dee,
Go ahead, Sheila.
all right. I just wanted to say, like, when I first met Dee was in January at a mastermind, and she got up and gave us a presentation, and I actually walked out. She got into my head right away with the mindset. She had asked the question, what if tomorrow never comes? What if today's your last day? And I actually broke down and had to leave, so I didn't actually get to watch all of her presentation because I had been in an accident. That had been me. That's another story. But that got a connection with Dee. In Nashville was her first Women of Bliss event, and the best takeaway I had from there was the gratitude stone for those of us that were there. It got into my head that anytime I had an issue with anything, in June my water main broke in front of my house and I had water damage in my house and I had to do this and do that, and I started thinking very negative about how my house was just bad and I couldn't stand it and I stopped. I grabbed my stone and I tried to think of what was good with my house. What could I do that could flip the tables? So now I have my office in my basement away from the kids where I can shut the door, and I completely flip-flopped and the kids are upstairs. I took advantage and I looked for the good things. The next women event, Women of Bliss, was in Vegas. And for those that were there, all I can say is jump into your power. There is so much more into this that, and Dee brought so many different things into it for us to do strategies and thoughts, and I just don't know how they're going to top this one, but I can tell you that since this last event, things have really started to change because I think we had a chance, because of jumping into our power, all of us together, we have connected as women in a much different way. I was chatting with Cherry today, back and forth, about different strategies and different things. Oh, that's cool. What can I do? And yesterday, I had $1,000 cash in my hand. No, it wasn't mine, but I had it in my hand, and I was fanning it and thinking, it's time. I had 2 ads approved on Facebook. I had so many things going just yesterday, and last night I watched a video, and someone's like, throw in the money, and I'm thinking, dang! And now this, and I'm here with all of you ladies again. For those of you that are just considering going to the Women of Bliss or registering for this event on October 1st, don't hesitate. Get signed up. You're not going to be let down. That's all I can say.
And you won't be the same after.
I don't know. I think Dee asked, my experience with the events. That was the question, right? I guess.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you so much, Dee, for inviting me. I really appreciate everything you do, and how selfless you are in giving. And as all of you ladies are, it's just a pleasure. And I've been to a lot of events, and since this is a round table and you all are my girlfriends, I don't know who's watching. I'm just going to be honest, okay?
Perfect.
I'm going to be honest. I've been to a lot of events, and my question was like, well, I'm going to keep going, but why am I not having a breakthrough? I am not having a breakthrough. I'm going to these events. I'm showing up. And Dee mentioned before, I was like, okay, I got what I need to be successful. I got notebooks worth of notes, millions of dollars that I can make, them uncashed checks in these notebooks. Why am I not having my breakthrough? Dee mentioned mindset. So I had to go back to that and say, you know what, if I've got all these tools, it's got to be me. It's got to be the mindset. It's got to be me. Because I'm getting to these events. First of all, being there, being there let me know that I wasn't crazy, that all these big dreams I had, and my time freedom that I wanted, the travel I wanted to do with my kids, how I wanted to give back to the community, but when you're working and you're on a grind all the time, you don't have the time, that I wasn't crazy for having those dreams, because you get to these events and you connect with people just like you that not only have those dreams and those visions, but they're doing it and willing to show you step by step how to do it if you're willing to show up, just willing to show up. So that's my experience with events. So when I realized that, I needed more, it was something else I needed in my mindset when the opportunity came in front of us I had been following Dee, and she shared with this Women of Bliss and her vision to, empower women in life and business, no matter what business that you're in. I knew I had to be there, and being there, just took that to the next level. And for example, knowing your purpose, she said you have to know your purpose, and that was one of the mindset things I was having trouble with. And I'm being honest with you guys, I was having trouble because when you're a mom and you're working and you doing all this kind of stuff, and years you look up and years have gone by, you can lose yourself in all of that. And I was connecting with Dee and becoming part of the Women of Bliss has been very instrumental in me reconnecting with what my purpose is. And I mentioned that in the video, figuring that out. You have to figure out who you are and what your purpose is. The money, that's all a byproduct. All of that, that all comes once you connect with your purpose and share your vision, and don't be afraid to share it. And that's what connecting with all of you women and the Women of Bliss movement that's happening all over the world, not just here, has done for me. And that's come from getting to the events, and that's been my experience. So there. I don't know, CJ, want to come out and say anything?
Sure, I will. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by my munchkin. He's coming over to say hi. Say hi to everybody.
Hey! Oh, hello!
He saw Mommy outside and he came out and attacked me. For me, the Women of Bliss events have been just a breakthrough. I struggled for so many years as to what type of woman I was and what type of person I was meant to be, and mom and wife and supporter to my friends and family. And with the last event in Vegas, I didn't tell anybody while I was in Vegas because I didn't know how to process everything until I had gotten back home and was around all of my family and friends to be able to truly express oneself. But the last event was really huge for me. It gave me the mindset of where I needed to be. It gave me the breakthrough of what I needed, and it also helped me visualize what my purpose and my path in life was truly for. Over the years of being a mom and a wife and going from single to married and working corporate America for 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, I had lost the person that I was. I had lost my meaning in life. I have lost my vision, my purpose, my total path of where I was supposed to be and what gift I was given to deliver. And without the Women of Bliss events, I would not have been able to give that confidence within myself to move forward and to express and to help other women take the journey that they need to take to find themselves within themselves. And without Dee and Justin and this amazing support of friends and family that we have and sisterhood that's been created due to these events, I would not have the strength that I have now to be the empowering woman that I can move forward today with.
I don't know about you ladies, and I know one thing I just thought about is another roadblock that I've gotten over is not feeling like I had enough value to share. Who would listen to what I have to say? And she talked about doing videos. You're like, who would watch my video? What value do I have to share out there in the world? And that's so untrue when you realize, you know, we all have so many different experiences. Did any of you feel that way as well? I'm just curious. Or is it just me?
No.
Okay. So that was one roadblock that this going to events helped me, you know, get over. I got plenty of value to share. Now I just, you know, the other part of it, how she mentioned with Facebook and all of that was just, you know, okay, I got that. I just needed to get over myself, you know, and step outside of myself and look at that I have vision, I have purpose, and there's other people out there that would connect with me and my vision and my purpose and would connect what I had to say. So I knew I wasn't the only one.
Yes, I agree totally.
Absolutely right.
I think I'd like to add to that, Rhonda, is because I completely agree with everything that you said. I think, you know, all of us have this experience, but ultimately for me really is personally is my belief to myself. I actually realized that I am not actually pushing forward. You know, it's always something is holding me back. It's because that belief. And just, you know, from the last event, I've actually noticed that transformation in me. The belief that I have for myself now is just so, you know, it just makes me feel so powerful. You know, I was able now to really tap into the power within me so that it feels very different when I set my intentions. I truly believe in all the intentions that I've set now. And that alone is very empowering, you know. It's liberating. So, and that's just, I just couldn't even believe it until now that, you know, I had that experience.
Yeah.
And that's what's been missing, you know, that's what's been missing. So, yeah, that's why I just have to keep on coming back. You know? And I'm just so passionate about the sisterhood that we have, the connection, the relationship that we're actually building, you know, with each other. And I very much have a lot of respect on this vision, you know. When you talk to Dee, it's like, you know, it's like entering heaven, you know. She really has this very, her perspective is just very different, you know. It just almost fills you with bliss, you know. I never truly understood the word bliss, you know, until really talking to these. It just takes you somewhere, you know, and it just really inspires you to be this, you know, to be at this place where you can actually be your best self, you know, your best person, whatever you could really achieve, you know. So it's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to Orlando. I'm so excited.
Wow, thank you so much, Sherry, because it's really crazy because, you know, hearing when someone else speaks about you, you're like, oh man, is she going to talk about that time that I gave her a hug right when I came out of the gym? I was sweaty. I really wanted to go hard. Like, come on, you know, like it was one time, like, you know, but you really begin to, you know, seriously though, it's like, you begin to acknowledge that greatness within other people, because in order for someone to see greatness, or in order to see a characteristic within someone else, that's something that they have to be able to see within themselves. And I know some people, you know, hearing this right now are like, that's not the way it works. But I'm like, dude, research the brain, yo. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? I don't say guarantees. I'm just telling you what works, and that's how it works. So it's a fascinating thing, and once scientists are actually able to, you know, understand it in its full capacity, you know, I'm sure a million years from now, they'll understand that one aspect of it. But it's something that for me just continues to fascinate me and continues to help me understand any results that I've gotten up until this point are a direct reflection of the knowledge and the efforts and the energy and time and focus that I put in. And once I was able to admit that on all fronts, my business changed. You know, staying up in the middle of the night till 3 a.m. was no problem, you know, because my vision, I was like, dude, humanity doesn't sleep. I can't sleep. Like, you know, there are people out there who need freedom, and my mind just could not stop. And so think of it this way, you know, if you ever find yourself in a mode where you're just like, oh, you know, I don't want to do that anymore, or, you know what, I haven't gotten results, so it must not work. Look at it this way, right? I just know from, you know, watching my family and friends, because I didn't quit university once, I quit it twice. So I can't speak from my own experience, because I realized twice that this is just not for me. And, you know, as I continued growing as a business owner, I just, you know, I was watching other people around me who were going to university, and they did decide to go that route. And I remember watching someone close to me go to university for 4 years, and I was just like, great, now you have this great job. And they're like, well, no, I haven't found a job yet. And I'm like, whoa, you have to find one? Like, you just busted your butt for 4 years, and now you have to go out and find one? I'm just like, whew, talk about a tough world. All right, fine. Go out and find your own job. Then it comes to find out that, whoa, there's nothing, you know, available in the industry that you studied. Don't they have those statistics when you sign up for college? Like, hello, you have a 10% chance of finding a job in this city because we don't have that industry here. Like, shouldn't they tell you this? Like, I'm confused. I was very appalled by, you know, just the lack of statistics. I love stats and I love numbers, which is why I love to test things, and which is why I get so excited when I show like 2-cent conversions, because I'm like, haha, it works, you know? So anyway, back on topic. Out of the numbers, D. So you begin thinking, and I just remember, I remember thinking to myself, like, if this can be possible, and on a small scale, anything can. But before it was actually able to, I needed to believe in it. And before I'm able to actually play this video for you and show you all, because once you see my screen and they're like talking, which I don't use the screen for that, but let me show you my YouTube, because I want to share with you this video. Now, this particular video is from a gentleman. Now, let's see. I hope you guys can still hear me and see me. So this particular video is from a kind man. And something just really remarkable about him and about what he does. What he provides to the marketplace, the value that he shares. Whoa, sorry about that. The value that he shares. It's unique because he does it all based upon passion. So, for example, oftentimes when we are looking at you know, history and companies and business, typically they are built upon you know, a product. And what made this gentleman so different is he built something based upon an idea. And it's in a niche that usually, you know, the ideas don't you know, they don't start companies. This is usually an industry where the product starts a company and the idea kind of fuels it over time, but usually they're built upon a product or, you know, a service. So when and he's just one of my mentors, but when he came on the scene, what made him so different is he had a concept, an idea of freedom. And I remember hearing this because, you know, I was in, you know, the network marketing industry at that time, and I was, you know, traditionally working it. So I was that woman in Walmart who, you know, would make eye contact with you, and I was like, hey, you keep your business option open? Like, I was that woman. And it was so inefficient, but it taught me a lot. I developed a really great skill set from it, got to understand people more from, you know, going up to thousands of people, soliciting them. But what it really taught me most was about the experience and why what we do on the internet can be so powerful, because it takes you out of that survival, you know, I'm willing to do anything, even something not within integrity, which is something that, you know, to me, when you're building something, it really comes back to the energy. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing what you do? And if you're doing it for a quick buck and you're just looking for the advertising that you can just throw your money at it, not develop any new skill sets, and then make money in your business or sell more of your product, I mean, I'm sure that you can find many websites on the internet. Just search Google for it that will promise you exactly that. But a promise unfulfilled is just a lousy situation to be in, especially when you pay for that. So that's why I like, you know, situations and live webcasts like this, where you can decide for yourself if this information is something worth actually paying for. Is it worth it to your business to learn how to make conversions on Facebook, which is the largest social media platform in the world, for 2 cents a conversion? I think so. I don't know. It just depends on your business and where you're at. But I know for someone like me to be able to, you know, be walked through. I have a page right now, a campaign that we're using. And I love, well, obviously, you guys know I love the numbers. And so I was looking up the statistics. I thought that the page would convert at about 30%. So if you're one of those people watching this video now and you're like, Dee, I am done, I need to invite you, I need to come and meet you guys in Orlando, then go ahead and click the image to the right on the webcast, and you'll see like an image of a woman with her, you know, fabric billowing in the air that says join us at the next event. And that page will actually lead you to the page where you're able to pick up your ticket. I believe it says that there are 3 spots left, but there are actually 2. So I needed to let you all know that. I just hadn't had the opportunity to update that yet. So there are 2 spots available in the mansion with us, and then we have a few of the day tickets. So before I get into all of that, I wanted to share that with you. But to myself, when I started building the business and I started truly focusing on my content and my message, I realized that the most converting content wasn't the sales content. It wasn't the stuff that I was like, oh, hey, look at me, I just got XYZ. It was the stuff that I was sharing with people, you know, point A to point B. It was the point where I was, you know, revealing how we overcame a struggle, or how we were able to save, you know, X amount of dollars, or how, you know, when we make $127,000 in 1 month, how only $20,000 of that is spent on advertising. And it was those concepts that truly helped me understand how I was going to craft all the information that I shared, because now I had a foundation of what people wanted to hear, right? People wanted to know how to make money, and how to make money. Okay, I got it. So I had a starting point. And at this point, I just remember thinking to myself, like, okay, how am I going to be different? What's going to make me unique? And of course, I'll, you know, go over this on the webinar on the 1st, but I'm just excited about Orlando, because that's when I'm going to be able to walk you ladies through it. So I have a campaign that right now, you know, it's really cool, because usually when you go and you look at one of your campaigns, the campaign could be converting, you know, and we're talking about a capture page, and a capture page is the page that, you know, people will enter their name and email, and they specifically are saying, hey, I want more information from you. That's the capture page. And so this particular capture page, You know, usually when you build it, you know, it doesn't really have that much traffic going to it. The conversions are really high. You know, 2 people have went to the page, 1 person became a lead. You got a 50% conversion rate, you know, and everything's going great. But then as more traffic goes to it, you know, it kind of balances itself out. And my conversion rates are typically anywhere from like 30 to 60%. Well, this page excites me because, well, the last time that I refreshed the page, I'm not going to lie, that's why I have so many windows open. That particular page is open just so that I can sit there and refresh it and be amazed at the fact that the conversion rates keep going up. I'm like, my goodness, how awesome is this? But the last time I looked at the page was converting at 64%. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is better than my 60%. So why did I show you my screen on Facebook where I showed you that over 600 people shared my post? Because that's free advertising and marketing. Each one of those people sharing my ad. So I'm paying Facebook for that ad, but these people are like, you know what? I have found this so valuable that I want to share it with the people on my list. Now, depending on, you know, who your market is and who you're advertising to, their friends list on Facebook can be typically on average anywhere from like 500 to 2,000 friends. This is just, you know, average stats of, you know, just people in America, just, you know, what their typical friend list can consist of, the amount. And so knowing those numbers, it's like, whoa, that's over 600 people who could possibly have shared me to about 2,000 people, you know, beyond the reach that we set inside of that ad. And where does it all come down to? Ideas, vision, being very clear, you know, about what you're sharing, understanding how to communicate with people and what it is that they need to hear and see in order to make the next move. Because if you're just, you know, talking about the sun, the moon, and the stars, at the end of the day, people have no idea what you do, and they can't really make that connection with you. But when you can start sharing a vision with them, when you can start painting a picture with them, I believe that's when, you know, you really are grasping, you know, the power of social media. So I want to play a really cool video for you from my mentor. He has produced a company that has, right now, it's just a little bit below $200 million. And when you hear that number, I don't want you to hear that number and then think like, whoa, he's so out of reach. You know, that's someone who I could never have the possibility of ever meeting in my lifetime, because he's actually going to be at the next Women of Bliss event in Orlando. I remember when I sent him the message on Facebook, so I'm like, hey, you know, can you join us? And it didn't even take him, like, he instantly replied and was like, yeah, D, sure. And I was like, what? Huh? You don't need to think about it? Like, have some tea over it? Like, you don't want to meditate? Like, you know, I was just like, what is going on? I was so excited and also just like, wow, you know, blown away. Because, yeah, we are friends, and yeah, I know him, and we work together in business, but you know, he makes 200, you know, he makes companies that have produced over $200 million. You know, yeah, my husband and I do well, but that's a whole different level, right? There are levels. And easily he could be like, I don't have time to go on your little hangout or your little live cast, or, you know, I don't have time to go to your event. And I just thought to myself, whoa. So I was really excited. I told him, you know, when we would be doing the webinar, and he was like, hold on, Dee. I'm just not going to lie, that is way too early in my time. And he sent me a message. He's like, listen, I don't work from home so that I could wake up early. And I was just like, man, touche, I feel you, we'll talk soon. So I was really, really excited. So this is a message from him to all of you. I want to go ahead and play that video. So just give me a moment. Okay, here we go. Add videos to playlist. Here we are. Here we are. Ooh. Okay. I am so excited. Okay. Got to make sure you all can hear this. Okay. Maybe it needs a moment. Okay, let me close it and open it again. Oh, it remembered where I was at. Oh, whoa. Okay, just give me one moment. This may
Dee, we've lost your audio. Still no audio, Dee.
Talk about my thoughts. Okay. And Ellen. Hey, Ellen.
Hey.
I always have a lot of thoughts, Dee. That's probably why you put me out there like that. But I guess my other thoughts were mentioned. I was talking about how Women of Bliss has helped me to well, this is what I struggled with, and another reason why Orlando is so important. She mentioned how the things that we're going to go through, and is crafting my story. One thing I struggled with before the last Women of Bliss, I started sharing my story there, as many of you ladies know, but I felt like, again, who wants to hear my story? Did you all ever feel like that? Because my story's not unique. This is happening to, people. Everyone has the same story type thing. So what would make my story any different? But I guess what Dee and all the other people that shared with us on, although someone else may have your story, that's why you need to tell it. You need to share, because that's where you have that connection. So I'm wondering, am I the only one that struggled with finally coming out and just sharing my thoughts like now? Like this, doing this would have been very difficult for me, talking about where I came from, being a mom and being a teen mom at 13 and sharing that story. I thought no one would want to hear that, or who would want to even consider what I was doing. That was another self-limiting belief. Who would even consider joining forces and locking arms with a teen mom? I had that self-limiting belief, but there was a lot of being with women. A lot of people connected with that. So Ellen, I don't know if you had any of those same experiences, but
Well, my main problem was the mindset also.
Yeah.
Because, even though I came from teaching little kids, I'd never even done anything online or marketing. I didn't even really know what that meant. And all of us can learn those skills, and you can write them down in a book and follow the directions, but it won't work unless you are coming from a place of confidence and assurance and clarity. And so I had a lot of difficulty getting clear and believing in myself because of all of the talk when I was growing up and labels that people had put on me. And, you know, the way the paradigm used to be is that you get all your answers from the outside world. And whatever you need to know will come from somewhere other than yourself. And that's totally backwards because everything you need, everything you have is within you. And in order to get your answers, in order to get the love that you need, it all has to start from inside of you. And Women of Bliss was exactly something to open that up for us. We didn't just all go up to the top of some building and jump off. Woohoo! It wasn't like that. We had done exercises and we had built a safe environment, and we had built community with people and done exercises to answer some of the questions we had. And all of that prepared us to be in a place where we could say, I can do this, I can do anything, because now I know that I have within me everything I need. And that for me was a huge deal. And I mean, I never even rode on a roller coaster because I was so scared of going on them. I mean, we would take the girls to an amusement park and my husband and the girls would ride everything and I'd sit there and take pictures. You know, I would not get on anything. So when we went to the Stratosphere and I got all geared up and somebody said to me, are you going? I said, well, yeah, I'm going. I mean, it wasn't even a question anymore, you know, and I just had stepped past those places where I was scared and unsure. And I also knew that everyone there supported me, believed in me, and therefore it was easier to do. It really was. And Dee is just, she has an energy that just goes whoosh right into you, and it fills you up and lets you know that you are accepted and you're loved for who you are. And all you have to do is be yourself and trust. And that's what it was like for me. When it's amazing because I can see a total difference in how I wrote in my blogs initially and how I'm coming across now, and the responses I'm getting are there are just so many more responses and engagement and things like that in my blog and in my ideas and how I feel about the world and what I think and my beliefs. Whereas before it was like, you know, I wasn't getting anybody to engage or to sign up initially because I didn't know what my message was. I wasn't clear, you know, on what it was I wanted to convey. And once I was really clear from going to the masterminds and going to Women of Bliss, it changed everything. And also, I mean, my little 3-month hiatus from you guys gets a little bit tough. You know, I get to points where I think, oh, I really want to see them. I need them. I need some, you know, support right now or whatever. And then we can get on things like this and it gives us a little pump up until the next one. But it's a good thing that we go every 3 months because you need the human connection and you need the heart to heart. I got you. I believe in you and all that. So
yeah,
I can't wait till Orlando. I can't wait.
You mentioned a really great point, and of course I have to bring up the facts about the mind because I'm a nerd like that. But it's actually something that you ever find yourself, waking up in the morning to go do something, or just throughout the day, and then it's like it's Tuesday, it's a rainy day, and you're like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to do that, And then sometimes you can get into that mode for like a week, or I'm not judging. I'm just saying it happens, right? So in order to overcome that, you've got to start indoctrinating your mind, your information of what you're willing to put in. And part of that is actually a main part of that is really about how society will program us to take in information from the people that we're around. So that means to say that as opposed to society fixating on gathering information from outside sources, the way that it's designed is for us to gather our experiences, knowledge, and information through the people that we see the most. So that's why when a child goes to traditional school, they say that no, you're actually not the biggest influence in your child's life anymore, because if a typical family of 2.5, I still don't know what that 0.5 consists of, maybe the goldfish, I don't know, but that typical 2.5 household that they talk about and they do their numbers off of for the traditional American household is based upon a household where the child who goes to school regularly is spending 3 times more time in school than they are with their parents. Now, like I said, we don't judge. You want to send your kid to school? I understand the break. Hey, I have a 1-year-old. I get it. What I'm saying is that when you start opening your mind to the way that you receive information, you no longer just take the information that's presented to you and then say, okay, that's it, I come up with a conclusion. But something happens to your mind to where you start seeking more ways to accomplish that goal or to reach that end. So I have the video here. Hopefully it loads up. I pulled up a different window, so I hope it loads up, and then I can share with you all this really awesome video, because I'm really excited just for you to be able to see it. And like I said, let's hope that it plays. Okay, they're like, just to let you know, your video, everyone else will see your video too. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. I mean, I hope that's how it works. Okay. Oh, I remembered. I put it in the chat. I was searching for it, and then I'm like, wait, I put it in the chat. Boom. All right, here we go. At first, I had the video listed as private, and then I realized that, whoops, you can't play a private video. Okay, that's so awesome. It was really funny for me when he mentioned, that he would be able to come to our event, because I kept thinking to myself, like, is this even, does he even have the time, right? You're talking about someone who has this major company, and it's like, flying out early, missing your family for that day. It's like, would he even think that it's worth it? And that's why I come back to you and I leave you with this, my closing thoughts on this. You don't have to have all the answers and know how to do it right now. I have worked with, I have to say it out loud so that the ladies will stop chatting on the thing, because it brings up a window on my end that I can't close. So if they would just stop using the chat, that would be great. So sharing with you, let me see. Can you hear my audio now? Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Thanks, Ellen. So sharing with you, why he even took that plunge in the first place. Because I remember sharing with him, that idea, the whole idea and the whole vision of Women to Bliss. And I expected him to be like, oh, that's a great idea. And that be the end of it. And I was just like, all right, cool. That's what I thought. That's how I thought the conversation was going to go down. No big deal. I was like, all right, just keep working towards the plan and we're fine. And when I spoke to him, his response to it blew me away, because it wasn't just like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. It was like, wow, you need to do this immediately. I believe in you, Dee. Go do this now. And it was like, what the heck? What do you mean go do this now? Like, I haven't done events. I need to do some research. Like, and that was several years ago. And I remember, allowing the stigma of what I couldn't and, what I've had experience with and what I wanted to do stop me. And I remember, when did my business shift? Truly and honestly, my business shift completely when I was able to actually listen. You know what I mean? When there was an opportunity where, instead of acting as if I knew everything, or instead of, coming up with the super plan that this is the way that I was going to do everything, I became like water. And when I say like water, it's like you can build up a dam to block the water, but over time, water will find a way around. It always does. And just when the dam gets that one weak moment, water will go ahead and plunge its way through. And so I advise you to be like water. The best advice that I ever gotten was to always be willing to learn, to experience things as if they're brand new. So when you are getting conversions for 2 cents, you're getting leads for less than $2 a lead, and these are really affordable numbers that most business owners, depending on what your commission or your profit is on your product or service or business, because this really does depend on your numbers. If it costs you $1 to generate a lead on Facebook, but your profit is only $2, well, I don't really think that that's the best business model for you. But if it costs you $1 to generate a lead on Facebook and your profit margin is several $100s or even several thousand, okay, you can start thinking about, scaling up and going, full forward with this. But it's an idea that rests upon, why you're doing what you do. So I really, really implore you to don't think that you have all the answers. It's okay to admit that you have no idea what you're doing. That's why I'm so excited, and that's why I got on this hangout today and to be able to share with you and these women. So you have 2 tickets. This one is the 2-day ticket. And we actually have a few of these available. I'm so excited because you all are going to get this in the mail. So we have a few women coming from Australia, yes, Australia, and they're going to be receiving theirs when they arrive, because usually when they're traveling internationally, they fly in like a day or two early. So they'll meet up and be receiving that from my assistant in person. And then these, wait, I did have it right. There we go. And then these are the mansion tickets itself. We called them the Magic Pass. You know, this event is called Spark the Magic. So you'll be receiving that in the mail, and I'm really, really excited because everything that we have planned is to truly help you spark the magic. So I'm just excited for, you know, you all to be able to share and to step into your power in this way, because it is something that we've never done it in this, you know, in this capacity. Usually when you go to an event, information is taught to you. It's kind of thrown at you. You take your notes, you go home, and you've got to try your best to remember it, or, you know, connect with some of the other women and see if there's a way that you can kind of piece together what to do next. Well, here